Blizzard just announced that on Tuesday, June 9th, they will be hosting a Shadowlands reveal livestream. And there's a lot of speculation about what they could be talking about here, but I think it's important to understand what not to expect. Let's begin. Alright, so let's just take a look at the post again, word for word, and try to dissect what's going on here. After the introduction about time, date, and hosts, Blizzard says they'll share more about the upcoming Shadowlands expansion with a look at some of the newest content in development. I've seen a number of posts hoping for some non-WoW related news, such as Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, but just, no, those aren't happening. And here's a couple of reasons why. This announcement was posted from the World of Warcraft page. The hosts are World of Warcraft executive producer John Haidt and game director Ian Hazzikostas, both WoW developers. If they were poised to announce anything non-WoW related, I would expect someone like J. Allen Brack to be in on the stream. And lastly, the post clearly states that they are showcasing Shadowlands and the newest content there within. Cool, so it's definitely Shadowlands related, but what now? Let's explore some things that we have yet to see in the alpha. I think Ardenweald and Maldraxxus are easy options to include in the announcement. At this point in the alpha cycle, it would actually be worrisome if these leveling zones weren't ready yet. The Maw has a bit of a lower chance of being included this go around just because it's a max level zone. So I fully expect Blizzard to announce that at least Ardenweald and Maldraxxus will open up very soon for players to explore. Next, legendaries. Blizzard has sort of a shaky history with legendaries throughout the game. After moving away from class-specific legendaries in Mists of Pandaria, they've kind of changed their tone with what a legendary is. Legion tried to shake that up a bit, but they ran into a lot of issues with the way those were implemented. And I think a good part of that was due to lack of testing. This leads me to believe that Blizzard will give us the Shadowlands legendaries early in the testing cycle to iron out any issues with them. And I'm really hoping that Blizzard has learned from their experiences and are able to deliver on this. So I'm saying yes to legendaries in this livestream. Alright, so let's talk about rating now. Castle Nathria. Honestly, I don't expect this to make the cut this time around. As much as I and many others would like to see the entry rate for Shadowlands, it just seems a bit early still. Blizzard has a good amount of new systems this expansion that need thorough testing, and raids are just raids. I mean, yeah, they need testing and fine-tuning, but I don't think it's necessary for us to be playing through Castle Nathria yet. We don't have all the fundamentals down yet, which will inevitably alter how raids are balanced. One last thing we haven't seen yet are soulbinds, and you can think of soulbinds like a secondary talent tree tied to the covenant that you choose. These will absolutely alter how the gameplay is balanced, so it's really important for Blizzard to start testing soulbinds early. No one wants another situation where some soulbind is found to be the hidden OP midway through the expansion's first patch. Players really need to get soulbinds in their hands to start experimenting with, and it's like they always say, test early, test often. And speaking of testing often, what are the chances of Shadowlands coming out of alpha and going into beta? Shadowlands has been in alpha for approximately 7 weeks. For reference, Battle for Azeroth was in alpha for about 10 weeks, so we're kind of in that same time frame right now. And then when the stream happens, we'll have been in alpha for 9 weeks. And add 1 more week on top of that because Blizzard always needs a buffer between announcement and release, and boom, 10 weeks. It is definitely a possibility that they will announce the closed beta during this livestream. Open beta? Probably not yet, but closed beta? Yes. Especially if you take into consideration all the other stuff mentioned beforehand that they'll be adding. The last thing to expect, or rather not expect, is a release date. During an earnings call not too long ago, Blizzard said that Shadowlands is slated for a fiscal quarter 4 release. And this means that anywhere from October 1st to December 31st it could come out. I don't think we'll learn any more about the release date quite yet, because having the info of the quarter 4 release is good enough for now. Blizzard doesn't want to pin themselves down to a date so early in the testing phase. They are infamous for not releasing products until it's ready. But just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and guess the exact date that Shadowlands will be released. And that date is November 10th, 2020. Again, this is just a wild guess. November 10th is halfway through quarter 4, and it's actually about in line with 3 other WoW releases, and those would be Vanilla, Wrath of the Lich King, and Warlords of Draenor. It would also coincide with the now canceled BlizzCon, so yeah, November 10th, book it. Just kidding, please don't do this, just a guess. To wrap things up, let's quickly go through what we could see and not see on the upcoming livestream. Non-WoW games? No. Leveling zones? Yes. Max level zone? No. Legendaries? Yes. Raids? No. Soulbinds? Yes. Beta? Yes. Release date? No. And that's it. I am just super excited for this live stream. I think it's going to be really fun and informative. And I just feel like the development of this expansion, it feels different this time around. I mean, they're being more open and communicative compared to, like BFA or Legion or whatever. I just think that it's going to be great for everyone, the way that they're pursuing this expansion. And this stream is just another step in the right direction. So I can't wait. Thanks for watching.